Well, good afternoon. I'm Alex. This is Josh. We are the target audience. Content's made for absolutely everybody, but we think it's specifically made for us guys, and hopefully for you guys as well. Today, lucky episode number 13. Am I right? 13? Mm-hmm. Obsession. Interesting title. There's definitely been a lot of weird titles in this weird little universe, but I also like the simple ones. Obsession. We've been kind of on a downswing. People have been blowing season 2 to like, oh, this is the best thing you're ever going to see. And the last 2 episodes we've seen, I'm like, are you sure? you know the John Cena meme? Are you sure about that?
Yeah.
But, hey, we still got, what, is it 26 episodes for season 2?
Yeah, this is the mid-season finale, which we know wasn't a thing back then, but it would be just by episode count, the mid-season finale.
It is for us.
Yeah, I think, we've had a little bit of a break because of the holiday that just happened here in the U.S., so we haven't watched Star Trek in about a week, and I didn't care for those 2 episodes either, but I'm kind of refreshed, and I'm ready to jump back in. And, yeah, as far as, like, the last few episodes, I was curious to see what the comments would be, and so far on the one that did go up, it was pretty split. There were some people that were like, wow, I really liked this one as a child, but I do see now how things are kind of, different about it than I originally saw, and there were some people that were like, I never liked this episode. And I think it just goes to show that with all of these episodes, there's things in there that people are really going to like and get attached to, and there are some things people won't, and that's why I like the communities, because the opinions on it, there's very little groupthink. Like, for the most part, it's very wide variety of opinions, so really love seeing the comments and everything. And if it's your first time here, make sure to subscribe. In addition to this, we're also watching Firefly here on the channel currently. And if you ever want to see our exclusive, full, uncut reactions and discussions, you can check that out on our Patreon. Link is in the description. We're also watching Battlestar Galactica 1978 on there, and we just did a reaction to 1982 John Carpenter's The Thing. That was a great time, so go check that out as well. But yeah, we're going to get jumping into this one.
Yeah, but also, people are like, in the comments, they're like, forget this episode. But today, apparently, on the day of recording, is the 56th anniversary of the release of The Man Trap. So, hey, happy 56th anniversary to the greatest series ever.
Our scanner survey was correct, Captain. There it is.
Okay.
Jumping right in.
No ship floating by. We're already there.
Inform Starfleet I recommend that they dispatch a survey vessel immediately.
Acknowledged, Captain.
I'll phaser off a specimen.
There you go.
What?
Leslie.
You know how I feel about episodes starting off hot. I think this means it's going to be a jam-packed good one.
Did you smell that? A sweet odor like honey. It was years ago, on another planet.
Yes, sir.
Take your men. Make a swing around our perimeter. Scan for dichloronium in the atmosphere.
Are all 3 of them going to die here in the open?
If you see any gaseous cloud, fire immediately. You're on red alert.
Oh, not messing around.
The last time I caught an odor like that was 11 years ago.
Oh, wow. I wonder if he was still a captain at that time, 11 years ago.
It's almost like something out there knows I'm scanning it. It just kind of keeps changing itself into something different.
Great framing.
You know how each week we talk about, what's the special effect of the week? Mm-hmm. I think the smoke machine is the effect of this week.
Oh.
Ah!
2 down. But how do you shoot smoke?
Fire into it immediately.
Oh,
look at their faces.
You called that one. Are they like pale white? Those 2 on the top right.
I was almost being sarcastic. Like there was no way all 3 of them could get killed. But
Look out from that
there
bottom.
you go.
Ooh. Oh.
Great makeup job. Unless it's a new effect. That's possible.
You think you know what it was, Captain?
Something that can't possibly exist. But it does.
Wow.
Now, that's a quote from a guy who has fought at least 4 gods So this must be really bad. Now, I know it's forbidden. I shouldn't have peeked, but my YouTube recommended a clip from, what's the new Star Trek show? The one where Pike is the guy who plays Black Bolt. Yeah, Strange New Worlds. I'm like, oh, I got to peek because it said Captain Kirk, and also Spock was in it. Yeah. And Kirk was the captain of a different ship. Oh. I don't know what the timeline is, but he was like the captain of a different ship. And him and Spock had a small interaction over like the video telecommunicator, and like the top comment was, and thus the best bromance of ever was created that day.
That's pretty neat.
Kirk to bridge.
Spock here. Ready to leave orbit, Captain.
Hold your position.
Cutting in if I may, Captain.
I don't think we've ever seen that before, where someone cuts in on a video call.
Yeah.
Those medical supplies are badly needed on planet Theta 7.
We are remaining in orbit until I find out more about those deaths. I suggest you look at the record tapes of past similar occurrences. You'll find the USS Farragut lists casualties 11 years ago from exactly the same impossible causes. You were attacked by something. Did you feel a presence, an intelligence?
I felt it.
If the title Obsession is referring to Kirk in the episode, I think that's a pretty good title. I mean, he definitely seems more bothered, I think, than we've ever seen him.
Oh, Captain. Subspace message from Starfleet. They're
Not now, Lieutenant. Have the security duty officer report to me on the bridge immediately.
I don't know what it is, but super determined Kirk always bothers me. There was one episode where he was super guilty, another episode where he was super angry on war. Something about super obsessed Kirk just always rubs me the wrong way.
Chekhov, take over on scanner.
Did they just mention Chekhov, but he's not there?
Yeah, I was going to say, gotta love when they mention someone's name and they're clearly not there.
Was your father?
Yes, sir, he was, but I don't expect any special treatment on that account.
Was his father who?
Someone who died 11 years ago on that thing?
I want 4 men armed with phaser 2 set for disruptor thing. Join me in the transporter room in 5 minutes. You'll accompany me to the planet's surface.
But addressing what you said, I think it is interesting in this episode so far because it's almost like it's bothering him on more of a personal level because of his past, rather than, he actually has legitimate motivation. Where you're like, oh, I get why he's like this, rather than just out of the blue for the sake of the episode.
Yeah. I mean, don't get me wrong. I definitely prefer this kind of Kirk to, just falling in love with whatever woman's on the screen Kirk.
Oh, here we go again.
All right, turn on the smoke machine. Oh, yeah, that's good. That's good. Oh, yeah. Ah!
At least he's shooting it. Oh.
Instant. No time in between.
What if the whole episode is he goes up to the ship, brings down more red shirts, they just get killed over and over?
This is probably another one of the episodes where that trope was established.
Yeah. Honestly, this might already be up there with the Apple, with how many have died already.
I wonder if the Starfleet has some propaganda, oh yeah, sign up for Starfleet. You'll have a great career. Not advertising that any of this random death could happen.
Yeah, exactly.
What distance were you from the creature?
About 20 yards, sir.
You fired at a large, hovering target at that distance and missed?
Well, I was startled. For a second. And then, by the time I fired, the thing was already moving. I only hesitated for a moment, sir. Sorry.
Ensign, you're relieved of all duties and confined to quarters until further notice.
Oh.
What?
Man, you could tell he's so bothered.
You were a little hard on the boy, John.
You froze. One man was killed. Another may die.
Jeez.
Scientifically.
You'll both be filing reports. Make your comments and recommendations.
Okay, kill a crew with his 11 years ago?
I think that's what he's saying, yeah. Oh, is he crying? It's all right, let it out.
But we'll be ready to leave orbit in under half an hour.
I'm not leaving orbit, Mr. Scott. Not that quickly.
Captain, your count requesting...
Chekhov's not even there.
What was that?
Chekhov's not even there. It's a different dude.
Scanner readings.
Oh, there he is.
Oh, he is there. What? He's just not in his chair.
Probably because Spock's not there, so he has to do Spock's job.
Yeah, he's doing what, where Spock looks in the thing. Yeah.
I hope I'm not disturbing you, Doctor.
Interrupting another autopsy report is no disturbance, Mr. Spock. It's a relief.
I love when these two get along.
There are many aspects of human irrationality I do not yet comprehend. Obsession, for one.
Oh, he said it.
Have you studied the incident involving the USS Farragut? Nearly half the crew and the captain were annihilated. Among the survivors was a young officer on his first deep space assignment, James T. Kirk.
Oh, wow, his first assignment.
I'm pretty sure the 2009 Star Trek film was, Kirk's first something, so I'm going to have to watch that film with closer... They probably forgot about this.
It has nothing to do with this.
Have I made a rational decision? Am I letting the horrors of the past distort my judgment?
I like how he's more disturbed over this than the death of his brother.
Yeah, they don't talk about that.
Jim, when a young officer is exposed to unknown dangers for the first time, he's under tremendous emotional stress.
You're straying out of your field, Doctor.
Am I? I was speaking of Lieutenant James T. Kirk of the starship Farragut. 11 years ago, you were the young officer at a phaser station when something attacked.
Because I delayed in firing it.
Ooh.
Just like the guy that he got mad at.
I'd killed that thing if I had fired soon enough the first time.
Be so obsessed. A young boy who reminds you of yourself 11 years ago.
Don't push our friendship past the point where I have to take
I'm
official...
not, Jim. I am preparing a medical log entry on my estimation of the physical and emotional condition of a starship captain. It requires a witness of command grade.
Oh! What a reveal.
The two who were always bickering back and forth came together. I love it. I love it.
Sir, the USS Yorktown is waiting now at the rendezvous point. It carries perishable
Forget the
drugs.
recitation, Spock. I know the facts. Because I'm convinced that this is the same creature that attacked the Farragut 11 years ago.
Creature, Captain.
I could feel the intelligence of the thing. I could sense it thinking.
Jim, we're not trying to gang up on you.
And you haven't, Doctor. You've asked the proper questions. You've both done your duty. In that case, gentlemen.
Bridge to Captain. Come in.
Kirk here.
I have a reading on the whatever it is, Captain.
Whatever this is.
Prepare to leave orbit.
That was all a great scene.
That's exactly what we've expressed our love about this show. Just those three.
And like a reveal like that, if this is the first episode you're ever watching, it really doesn't mean anything to you with Spock coming through the door like that. But what a great reveal, for following along the whole time.
Knowing that Spock and Bones are the way they are. And it's like, oh, we're working together.
Sir, there, got it.
Oh, wow.
It's a whole thing?
You don't find that sophisticated, Mr. Spock.
Extremely efficient, Captain. Whether that indicates intelligence is another matter.
Everyone else is at alert station, so I brought you some dinner.
I'm not hungry.
Doctor's orders.
We didn't have a yeoman cast for this episode, so they used me.
What's happening?
Are we still chasing that thing halfway across the galaxy? Yes. You're lucky you're out of it.
What do you mean out of it? I caused it.
Your self-pity is a terrible first course. Why don't you try the soup instead?
She's great.
Fire phasers, Mr. Chekhov.
Yeah, I had a feeling. It's like, why would that even work?
It's like they think because they delayed it didn't work. It's like, no, it's because it's a fucking cloud. It went right through it.
But hopefully this will ease their guilt. Like, oh, it wouldn't have mattered anyway. Oh!
Something's entered through the number 2 impulse vent.
One man has a chance for survival. The other is dead. You can add that little price tag to your monster hunt.
That's enough, Bones.
It's not enough.
Damn, Bones!
The creature is now after us.
Creature, Mr. Spock.
Its method was well considered and intelligent. If you had fired on time 11 years ago, it would have made no more difference than it did an hour ago.
If you want to play Analyst Spock, use someone else, not me.
Come on, Kirk. He knows he's right.
Ensign, am I correct in my assumption that you've been disturbed by what you consider to be a failure on your part?
He's going to give the same speech to this guy. but he's going to take it better.
I simply would like you to accept the fact that your reaction has its basis in a physio...
Sir, it's coming through the vent.
Get out of here! I'm gonna take this thing off.
Oh, that's a good cut. That's a great cut to commercial.
Reverse cabin pressure, 341.
That's so obvious.
Yeah, I was like, what the hell?
Just put the shot in reverse.
You saved my life, Captain. I should be lying dead in there, not him.
Fortunately, neither of us is dead, Ensign.
Yeah.
I realize, Captain, you did everything you could do. I know that. It's just that nothing works against a monster that can do the things that thing does.
And if you hadn't delayed fire, no difference. Hence, no weapon known would have made any difference.
This is Kirk literally forgiving himself.
Or 11 years ago.
This is a great choice.
Report for duty, Ensign.
Thank you, sir.
That's
got
good.
goosebumps. That was great.
All right, let's go kick its ass. Fist fight the cloud. Here we go. I'm going to be kind of sad if this guy dies here. Probably the most character they ever put into a red shirt.
Will he ever appear again? Nope.
Garvik, get back to the ship.
Captain, you're not going to be the bait.
So get back to the ship.
Oh!
He's gonna sacrifice himself, isn't he?
Oh!
Sit to yourself, I'll report. It's no time for heroics.
The rock shaked a little bit.
Spock.
Like I was just cool with it.
Yeah, like he tried to take him down and he just failed.
Like I knew what you tried to do, but we're okay now.
Now, energize and detonate.
The score from Doomsday Machine.
Oh!
Do something.
We are, Doctor.
Woo! What a falsie.
Yeah, I thought they were going to use that as an excuse for the red shirt guy to die. I just really convinced he was going to die, but glad he didn't.
It was a good falsie, yeah, especially with him with the fake sacrifice. Yeah, yeah.
Oh, Ensign, meet me in my quarters when you've cleaned up. I'd like to talk to you about your father. Several tall stories I think you'd like to hear.
Thank you, sir. I would.
That was a good one. We talked about hopefully we're on the upswing, and I think that was it. You know, lucky number 13. That was wonderful. Everything about that, the writing, direction, the music. You know, Kirk just having a version of his younger self to interact with and a red shirt young actor at that time, getting just like a spotlight to shine with Shatner. Some odd choices where Chekhov's mentioned off screen, and it's like, oh, I guess he's not here. Then he is there. The villain is whatever. The way they defeated it, you know, it's fine. Just I don't really care about that. I just love the character stuff, you know, with Spock and Bones coming together to try to get the Kirk. Just the little stuff like that. The special effects stuff, whatever, villain of the week, I could care less about. Just that was great. That was great.
Yeah, I really loved that episode. There have been so many great ones, you know, this season already that I don't know if this is my favorite, but it's definitely up there. I think the strongest part of it was the writing, for sure. It looks like it was written by Art Wallace, which I do not recognize that name, so I'm sure our comments can fill us in. I don't know if he's a regular writer, but it was a great story. They jam-packed a lot in there. The villain wasn't like a huge part as far as like the personality or anything. It's not like a human villain or anything, so it didn't need to take up a lot of the story. A lot of times we'll like meet a villain or antagonist, and a lot of the chunk of the time is going to like that character to build them up. we didn't need to do that in this episode. It was more so just building up the story of the events of what happened, and I really loved the personal story of Kirk's past and why he's so obsessed with this, and then also having that proxy character of the red shirt Henson basically being a younger Kirk in theory, to where he can therapeutically go through that, seeing a younger person go through what he did. That was all great storytelling. Loved the stuff with Bones, Spock, and Kirk, with them three arguing back and forth about it, and then Spock eventually being convinced and going over to Kirk's side about the creature. And I thought it also did a great job of giving everybody, little stories. Like even Nurse Chapel got that little scene with Henson in the room, and with McCoy. Uhura had a lot of lines, even though she wasn't a huge part of the story. Chekhov was in there. So they did a great job of spreading it out, even though it was such a personal story with Kirk. So I thought all around it was excellent.
I felt like there was no wasted shots in this one. Nothing wasted. Anytime anything was happening on the screen, it felt important, and it felt like, hey, you should probably watch and listen. Whether it's like the dialogue, the back and forth, the world building, like everything felt like you need to watch this, and it rewarded you. There was nothing like unlocking 3 chains in a row or something. It's like, you know what I mean? It's like I felt like there's sometimes where it feels stretched, there's sometimes where it feels rushed, but this was like the one where it's like they figured it out.
The one line I really loved when Bones is confronting Kirk and about what he's doing and his obsession, and Kirk's like, basically saying like, don't use our personal friendship to like manipulate me, like I'll be the captain if I have to. And then Bones is like, oh no, I'm not, this isn't about our friendship, this is professional, I'm writing a report about your ass. It's like, oh god. And then the Spock reveal of him coming in the room, that was just an excellent scene that it didn't need any action or anything sci-fi, just the dialogue and everything was great.
It's like, oh, you're going to pull that on me? Well, guess what? This is an official medical report. Suck it. And here's your best buddy here to back me up. It's like that whole twist is just like, that's one of those things where it's a rewarding moment. If this was your first episode of watching Star Trek, which a lot of the episodes feel like you're supposed to be able to just drop in whenever you want. You know what I mean? And I feel like a watcher would be so robbed of a good moment if this was their first episode watching on TV. So this is one of those ones where you were really rewarded.
Yeah, I could definitely see myself rewatching this one for sure. I loved it.
Yeah, if we do a season 2 recap, spoiler alert, this will probably, depending on the rest of the 13 episodes.
Yeah, we got halfway to go. Yeah,
this might be in my top 5. I mean, when you watch an episode of television and you just come away smiling, it's like such a good feel. Like
you've been saying it the last few episodes. It's the roller coaster, and I think for me that's the biggest difference so far between the first season and the second one. I felt like the first season was just like this steady, consistent. In terms of episode quality, it was just like consistently good to, average to good. Every episode was a good time. And then you'd have your clunkers here and there, but it was just like this kind of consistent climb throughout the season. Season 2 has been like, we watch an episode or two and we love them and they're excellent, and then we'll get ones we don't enjoy at all. And it's just like this up and down. And I think it's because they're taking more risks and they're doing more, bigger stories and more interesting things. And sometimes you're going to get, the last 2 episodes, and sometimes you'll get Journey to Babel or Obsession amok time. So Mirror Mirror. So it's really just been up and down. It sucks when you're watching the ones you're not really interested in, but then it's really rewarding when you watch one like this.
Yeah, I mean, high risk, high reward, and also high fall. You know what I mean? It's like I'd rather see something. I'd rather see an extremely, just, I don't want to say failure, but just like an episode where it just didn't work, than just like another. Yeah, then just another like, oh, it's another god, because that's so much more interesting and so much more to talk about rather than just like a plain Jane. No risks taken, because you talk about risk, you don't talk about just like another boring where nothing happens. So yeah, more credit to the more risks.
Absolutely. Well, I'm enjoying it, and we're going to keep on going halfway now, officially through season 2, which, I mean, not exactly by episode probably, but in terms of it being 3 seasons, we're 1.5 seasons in. So we're basically halfway through the original series, and it's been a great time so far. We'll see how it goes as we continue. And if it's your first time here, make sure to subscribe to the channel so you can join us on this journey, watch every episode along with us, as well as Firefly, which we're currently watching on the channel, and a bunch of other stuff we react to. And then also make sure to check out our Patreon if you want our full uncut reactions and discussions to everything we watch, plus even more. So thank you, and make sure to become part of the target audience.
Absolutely. Thank you guys so much for watching along with us. I'm Alex. This is Josh. We are the target audience. Content's made for absolutely everybody, but we think it's specifically made for us and hopefully for you too. Thanks for watching. See you next time.